Wu-Tang Clan versus X-Men, Wu-Tang Clan versus Dream Team, Wu-Tang Clan versus the Ninja Turtles, Wu-Tang Clan against Martin Luther King, goddammit.
Happened in the 90s.
Yeah, so happy belated birthday, Matt G, the big 4-1, Dirk Nowitzki era.
So old, Steve. So old.
Yeah.
I feel like 41, though. I feel like I've seen a lot of other 41-year-olds, and I'm doing all right. All things considered, no complaints. Everything's been going pretty good, knock on wood. So, had a great B-day. My wife treated me to a lot of stuff. Good food. Got to see a cool movie. Got to go to Top Golf. Swing a golf club around half drunk. That's pretty fun. And all things considered, Steve, I'm making 41 look pretty decent. So I'll take my Ted. Thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah, appreciate the belated birthday, Steve. Wish you were here. We'll hang out again soon. But, as always, I smoked one in honor. And you'll soon be 41 too. You're just as old as I am. So,
fuck my
you're
fat
just
ass
as beautiful.
birthday. Nobody cares. Nobody fucking cares. Next time I come in town, make sure you have time off, because there was no connection. There was no time to chop it up. Hey, hold that thought. I got one of my 13 meetings for the day. Make sure you got some time off. I couldn't sit down and have a mano with my friend. Seeing Bill Burr was cool, but like, just to chop it up with my homie, talk about life. I feel like the corporations, even outside of yours, I feel like they just take away from life. They are like dream killers, life takers. So yeah.
Really took those good vibes and
I'm just saying, man. No, it's still good vibes, but make sure you got some time for a brother, man. Because it's like
I got a job, Steve. What am I supposed to do?
Request time off.
I don't got a lot of time off.
You don't?
No.
Well, it's time.
Why are we having this conversation?
It's time.
I don't want to even talk about this.
Well, it's time for me to rob banks then.
Shit.
I said this live. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Twitch and Facebook. Yeah. I'm gonna rob some banks, and then I'm gonna give some to my friends, and then we'll have all the time. But also like a deer in headlights, man. Don't stop now. Like, we got a special viewing, didn't we? Over the week we saw Wolverine. Well, you saw Wolverine in Deadpool.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about Wu-Tang Clan's one of the best albums to ever come out of the camp. And last episode, I said a half truth. I said that Dream Team was the greatest team ever assembled, and I lied. That wasn't all the way 100,000% true. The greatest team ever assembled is the Wu-Tang Clan. Wu-Tang Clan versus X-Men, Wu-Tang Clan versus Dream Team, Wu-Tang Clan versus the Ninja Turtles, Wu-Tang Clan against Martin Luther King, goddammit.
I mean, they're up there. I wouldn't put them above the Ninja Turtles at all, but
man, well,
agree to disagree.
We have to, because the best 1-2 punch, in my opinion, is Raekwon and Ghostface Killah. Better than Snoop and Dre, better than Dre and Big Boy, Jadakiss and Styles, Mobb Deep, Havoc and Prodigy. The best of the best, man. The best, Matt.
I mean, you're the music guy for sure. I definitely, they're up there too. I mean, in terms of Wu-Tang, those are I mean, Method Man's my favorite Wu-Tang member, but Raekwon to me was I always thought he was the coolest, because he didn't have like what I would call, I mean, he does have a big personality, obviously, because he's famous, but he just seemed like more of the low-key member, but he was one of the best like lyricists.
For sure.
Like Method Man was in your face and very flashy and stuff, and he kind of he didn't hide behind the scenes or anything. But I don't know. Well, I was introduced to him later, and I was amazed that I never caught on to how good he was before somebody put me onto it.
And believe it or not, man, they actually didn't even like each other at first. They were from like rival neighborhoods, and they fictionalized it, of course, in the Wu-Tang tell-all on Hulu, but eventually, man, they came to, and they actually went overseas. They took a trip to Barbados initially, Raekwon and Ghostface, to prepare for this album, to do the writing, and they didn't like how some of the hotel employees were being treated, specifically the black employees, because colorism, it's everywhere in this world, unfortunately, man. And they said Barbados, man, it's killing. It's killing the mood, just like I did not too long ago. And I apologize. I didn't mean to do that, Matt. I'm just a shitty human being. But they moved from Barbados and went back to the RZA's lab, and that's where they made the magic happen.
I never heard that. That's weird. I mean, that's cool that they did. I mean, that's fucking dope that they actually have a conscience and said fuck this shit. It's weird that was going on in Barbados,
Yeah,
but I mean, it's a tourist trap. But that's fucking. It's not surprising, dude. These guys are legendary. That's a cool ass story, though. They're also nice guys, apparently.
yeah. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with, man. And you know these kids, these youngins, they'll never understand the momentum, the movement of Wu-Tang in the '90s.
It's just a logo now,
Yeah,
which is
something to
weird.
wear. Just something to wear at Hot Topic, Forever 21 or some shit.
I mean, they're still performing and shit, though. I mean, I don't know that they're releasing new music. The last time I heard about them releasing something new was when that guy, that Skrelly guy, bought like the single album shit that everybody got pissed off at.
Speaking of shitty human beings, yeah, he did that, and he actually had a little beef with Ghostface. They were going back and forth, and you know, Martin Shkreli, he's one of those rich fucks who just thinks that like, hey, nobody can touch me. I'm Teflon Don, but like Ghostface wanted to put hands and feet on the dude, understandably so.
What was the beef? Like, just that he's a cunt?
That yeah, that's a big part of it. That's yeah.
Yeah, I heard there was. I thought it was like him, like not a like. I forget what it was, but no. I mean, fuck that guy too. Weird that I just always thought, what a weird thing to do. You know, I guess it got him a lot of like views or whatever you want to call that, but it's like to release an album that was it good music? I wonder. Has anybody ever heard this thing?
And that's the thing that sucks. Like I hate that like nobody will ever have access to it. Like I don't know what the thought process was when RZA put this together. It's supposed to be in a capsule and not unlocked until for like several lifetimes. We're going to be long gone by the time it's supposed to be released. It's like, what's
That's
the
how
point of
cool
that?
they are. But that's how cool they are that they can make an album and then pay gets paid for the privilege of buying it and still be like, you can't share this with anybody for this amount of time. This is locked in a box. You get to listen to it and that's it. I don't know how you control that. I guess just the thought is it's going to get out if it gets out. You know, like people are going to figure that out. So, and if it does, you know who put it out there because one guy has it.
Yeah, the guy who was hiking up the prices for what was it, AIDS
I
medication
think
or
it was
HIV?
AIDS medication, but I'm sure he had a bunch of other shit that he did that to because it was. I'm sure he has other drugs that he owns. I don't know. It's weird. One guy can have that effect,
Yeah.
you know.
It's time
But
for
Wu Tang's cool. I agree. Let's not talk about Martin Shkreli. Fuck his ass.
it's time for a really bad dad joke, Matt. I hope you like this one. So the producer hired a group of Crips to work at his studio. You know what he paid him to do?
What?
Throw up his set. Hey, boys and girls, this is Steve G and Matt G with Happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about what happened in the 90s. So get out your Easy E and your EPMD. Cause yo, what up, yo? Time is running out. It's for real though. Let's connect. Politic ditto. We could trade places, get lifted in the staircases. Word up, peace, incarcerated scar faces.
Noise. Steve, it's happening. We're in August. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
nuts.
know how we got here.
2024 is just flying.
It
Too
needs to
much
hurry the
shit's
fuck up.
happened.
Yeah, it needs to hurry up. This is supposed to be the year of the Mamba, and this month it's 8/24, the two numbers of Kobe.
Oh,
But
wow.
R.I.P. Long live the legend. But man, this year can suck a big donger. Today, my friend, we're talking all things August 1st in the 90s. Starting off in 1990, Young Guns 2 premieres. Billy the Kid and his band of outlaws are pursued across New Mexico territory by Sheriff Pat Garrett, who the young gunslingers must face off with if they are to reach the safety of the border. Directed by Jeff Murphy, starring Emilio Estevez, Kiefer Sutherland, Lou Diamond Phillips, Christian Slater, William Peterson, Alan Ruck, and Balthazar Getty.
Was Slater in the first one? I hate to throw questions that you might not have answers to, but I just don't remember him being in like the initial movie cast. Anywho, um, Young Guns 1 kicked ass. When I was a kid, you got some Emilio acting like a psycho, which is pretty cool. It's got a baby face, playing Billy the Kid, but also you get a very cool Lou Diamond Phillips in this, Steve. And that to me is the star of this franchise, LDP.
Yeah, and he was in the original. Lou Diamond Phillips was. Christian Slater was not. Charlie Sheen was in the original, and so was Jack Palance.
Yeah, Billy. Yeah. Um, yeah, Young Guns 2, Steve, I told you before we started. I don't remember it. I thought it was the one where they trip peyote, but I'm now thinking that might be the first movie. And, Young Guns 2, while they might have gotten the star power back, I think this focuses on the latter part of Billy the Kid's life. Maybe that's pretty cool. But other than that, Estevez a second time, I'm good.
Yeah, man, and I don't think Balthazar Getty was in the original. Balthazar Getty, he was one of the kids, actually the main kid in Lord of the Flies, and he's one of the grandsons of J. Paul Getty, the
Oh,
tycoon.
the guy in L.A. that has a museum named after him. I'm assuming
That guy, yep.
they rich. That's cool though. Balthazar Getty. What an epic ass name.
And also Alan Ruck from Cleveland, Go Ohio. Mostly famous for his role in Ferris Bueller, and he's the guy from Spin City.
Rooney.
But
Billy. That's it.
yeah,
That's all I got, Steve.
Bueller. But 1994, though, Baltimore shortstop Cal Ripken Jr. becomes only the second player after Lou Gehrig to appear in 2,000 consecutive MLB games in a 1-0 win versus the Minnesota Twins.
Cal Ripken. He kicked our butts, eh? Um, I don't know, Steve. What do you think about Rip Dog?
You know what, Ripken? I feel like kind of like what we said about who was the boxer, redhead guy,
Redhead guy.
the redhead guy from
Oh,
Mexico.
Canelo Alvarez?
I feel like Cal Ripken is kind of like Canelo as far as like you don't hear bad things about him from his peers, from fans, and even like people in his division, like Yankees fans, Red Sox fans. Like even though they're like they play the Orioles a shitload of times in the calendar year, you just can't say bad things about him. He never got caught for peds, never like beat on his woman, never been in the tabloids. He's just like go to work with my lunch pail, do my job, go home, and that's that. Have a glass of milk at the end of the night.
Yeah, there were no like skeletons in his closet that ever came out. Even Nolan Ryan, who to me looked like the all American like dad type guy, he beat the shit out of a guy, or at least tried to, on the like in a fight on the diamond,
And that
famously.
was, yeah, I think that was like his final season, man. But Nolan, outside of that, he's got pretty good reputation, man. Cal Ripken, I have no bad things to say. Besides the fact, Orioles, you're never going to win in my lifetime. You're just they won.
Yeah, they tried to get Bonilla, that didn't help. They had Cal Ripken. That's one guy though. That's a problem with baseball. There's too many positions. You can't really dominate with one guy.
It's something very unique about him. He's like a rarity in a LeBron James sense, man. Like, because he was born and raised in Baltimore, kind of like Pete Rose. It's like we draft this guy in our own backyard, and he's going to stay with us. Um, Unlike LeBron and unlike Pete, he's going to stay with us for the rest of his career.
That's pretty. I didn't know he was from Baltimore. That's pretty dope. Didn't his dad? Are we talking about senior or junior? We're talking about junior, right?
We're talking about Junior, the Iron Man who broke the record.
Did
But
his dad play ball?
his dad did, as well as his brother Billy Ripken.
Did he ever? Did they ever cross paths? Is there how many times has like a son and a father? I know the Griffeys did at one point. Did they ever like parallel play?
I don't think so because his career, Cal Ripken Sr., he actually was just a manager.
Oh, okay.
Um,
All right.
and he was the manager for the Orioles in 87 and 88 when his boy was playing. Um,
So his dad was the manager?
yes.
God, I bet he got harassed. Like, oh, you're grounded. You're in trouble. Fucking Cal, get in here. God damn it. Like,
And his brother, Billy, played for the Orioles for a little minute, man.
damn,
Yeah.
guys. The fuck are you guys? Also, just like, I gotta say, Cal Ripken Sr., you need to pump some of that fucking juice out because apparently you got 2 for 2 major leaguers. That's some powerful jizz, Steve. He's a coach too, which is crazy. He's like, I'm gonna create the best, and he
Like,
did. Well, one, I mean, I guess.
oh yeah, Billy, yeah, not so much. But hey, I mean, you were getting some MLB checks, so that's success. But
Yeah,
that following year, 1995, Raekwon releases Only Built for Cuban Links and the World Would Never Be the Same Again, aka the Purple Tape.
the chef, dude. I always thought that was such a cool nickname. It's not ostentatious. It's just that he's the chef.
The chef, man. And I'll never forget, like it was yesterday, Matt. I was riding the Tarta, the area, Toledo area region
Regional
transit
transportation. There you go.
transit
Transit.
authority.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Toledo
Targa.
area regional. Yeah, the Tarta. And that's what we took in middle school. We had to take the Tarta going to school and coming back. And there was this just abandoned tape on the ground as I'm getting dropped off. And I pick it up because it's free merchandise. What do we have here? The wordings, everything was just smeared. Whoever had that tape previously, they played the fuck out of it already. I
Burn
took
it.
it. Yeah, I took it, brought it home, and lo and behold, it was Only Built for Cuban Links. It wasn't one of the purple issues, but it was the album, and man, that was the soundtrack of 96, the summer of 96 for me. Because I didn't get it until 96, but yeah, man, it's so many hits. Wu Gambinos, Incarcerated Scarfaces, Ice Cream. Watch these rap ninjas get all up in your guts. French vanilla, butter, pecan, chocolate deluxe. Even caramel sundaes is getting touched. Scoop it to my ice cream truck. Who tears it up?
That's. I mean, are we going to karaoke tonight? Because you
I'm
got that
always
one
ready.
out clean, Steve. But that also, what looks clean is that cassette tape behind you. That's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, and this was his own doing, man. He wanted to stand out from the rest. Everybody at the time, you either had like a clear, regular tape. Sometimes it
That
might be
was
black.
it.
Yeah,
Well, white. I guess there was some white. I remember my mom and dad had some white cassettes too, for sure. But
yeah.
hell yeah, dude. He's like kind of the same mentality that the No Limit cover art had, where it was like crazy colors for the CD case and stuff. I think he was that genius, Steve. It's crazy to think that Raekwon also had that kind of mentality. It's like he's good at music. He's also can think like that too. That's pretty fucking awesome.
And you could say this album Godfather that mafioso John Gotti appreciation for the Italian Gambino lifestyle because they have so many references to that in this album, man. And one of my favorite Nas verses is on this album, "Verbal Intercourses." And I saw Wu-Tang with Nas and Busta Rhymes in 2022. And I was like, man, they're not going to play this song. It's not even a radio single. It's not even a release. Sure enough, they started the beat and Nas cuts into it. And on that song, it's Nas, Raekwon, and Ghostface Killer. And man, you can't go wrong with that combination.
Ghostface Killer to me was just always like an insane personality though. I was like, is this an act or is this a real deal? Is this like who he is? I think it's who he is. I mean, it is who he is.
The Wallaby King, man. But 1996, that following year, MTV2 is launched. The first video is Where It's At by Beck.
I got two turntables and a microphone. Not my favorite, but you know, I didn't even really. To be honest with you, Steve, MTV2. I mean, they had to create it because they stopped showing videos so much, so that was kind of the answer.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was always like the third or fourth option to me. You know.
And I find it ridiculous that they started this to bring back that same magic of having music videos on music television. And then all of the fuck shit from MTV flooded over
Yeah.
into MTV2. And then they had to create another one to bring back that magic. And now it's just like, we're just going to do reality shows and Pimp My Ride and Next and Cribs.
Rob Dyrdek needs 8 shows, so let's get
Yeah.
him another one. Throw it on 2. We'll
Wow,
create a
then
3. We'll create a 3 to show some videos.
we have to reserve MTV2 for Wild and Out now.
Yeah, exactly. Nick Cannon's also gonna get in another show, and we're gonna give fucking Rob Dyrdek. What's that girl that he always had on his show that was annoying as fuck?
The one that
Something
people say used to be Minkus on
Chanel
Boy Meets
West
World.
Coast. Yeah,
Chanel West
it's
Coast.
like
Yeah.
let's give her a show too. Fuck it. Let's just throw money in the fucking fire right now.
And I don't know how that theory started. We have internet now, people. We can do our own research. It's not like back in the day when they said that Paul was Marilyn Manson from Wonder Years.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, I do remember that. But I think honestly, if you look up Chanel West Coast and then you look up Minkus, I know it's not, but I think it's a really uncanny likeness. It's
Shout
like
out
a
to Chanel
clone.
West Coast.
No, don't shout out that.
Shout out to Minkus. No.
Shout out to Minkus for sure, but not Chanel West Coast.
Yeah. But 1997, Beavis and Butthead is airing season 7, episode 24, Canned. Beavis finds an unopened can of root beer along the side of the highway, and Butthead convinces him that it must be shook up before he opens it.
I hate to say Simpsons did it, but didn't the Simpsons do this, Steve?
I mean, what haven't they done at this point?
But yeah, dude, Beavis and Butthead, they're just hanging out in the middle of a very busy highway. I don't know where this is at in terms of their house, but not really safe. I don't really understand what they're doing out there other than just having a good time, I guess. Like almost like that movie The Program where they lay in the road. Seems like that kind of like energy rush. But you know, Beavis sees like a can of root beer across the street, which Eagle Eye Beavis, and he's got a sneaking suspicion there might be some root beer in that can, Steve.
Highways are cool. And so Beavis, he dares life to get to this can of root beer. And like I think a car just barely misses him on his way to get it.
Oh my! I mean, he causes accidents. Nearly killed 3 or 4 times, I believe. But he gets there. Lo and behold, Steve, This fucking A&W is fully loaded, not even topped off right now. He can just, it's good to go. You
Yeah,
know,
but it tells him to not open it. You have to like shake it up and stuff so it can be like its best version. And so he's just shaking it, shaking the shit out of it. My arms are getting tired.
ow, ow. Then Butthead takes over, and he can't even get one or two shakes. He's been fucking doing this all day, so his wrist is already locked up. So he goes, we need to figure out some other way to do this. So they actually have a couple working brain cells because they see, I think, like maybe somebody just got married, but that gives him the idea, like, let's tie this thing to one of our bikes, shake this bitch up. And that's what they do, Steve. I don't know why he makes Beavis do it all the time. He just doesn't want to be bothered, I guess.
Yeah. And so yeah, they get the bright idea dragging the cans on their bikes. I don't know where the bikes even came from. They just mysteriously appear because it's
Neighborhood bikes, Steve. It's you. Whoever gets it, gets it, you know?
yeah, 5 finger discount. And they don't make it that far because eventually like they both trip and fall off their bikes and then they get ran over and their bikes get ran over by Todd.
Who doesn't give a I mean, he almost kills these kids. He's not apologetic at all, Steve. He comes out hot. He tells them that he's pissed off that they're in his spot. He's warned them about this, parking their fucking bullshit ass bikes there. And, Butthead's, he's still on this whole shaking thing. And he explains to Todd this whole, you got to shake it. Do you want to shake it? And instead of wanting to shake the can, Todd's like, you know what, guys, I got a better idea. Kidnaps them, Steve. I mean, we can call it whatever you want to call it, but he picks them both up with his burly friend that I can't remember his name, Chunk or Chaz or some shit. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
And they throw Beavis and Butthead in a trunk and just start driving all around, Steve. So I'm thinking 3 felonies at this point for Todd and his buddy.
Yeah, and like once they get to their destination, which is just like some isolated area, they take them out of the trunk one by one, and they shake Beavis and Butthead, and they
It's like
just
they're
leave them
trying to
there.
shake change out of their pockets. But
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty incredible strength if you think about it, Steve. Do you think you could pick up a teenager by the ankles and just shake the shit out of them like this in this comical way?
depends on how tall they are.
Okay. All right. Well, the one guy, Biff or Chud or whatever his name is, he's all about the business too. He doesn't even really speak up when they kidnap him, but it is what it is, Steve. The can shook. Beavis and Butthead are out in the middle of God knows where. But they still got their can, and they weren't viciously raped by the two guys that took them out in the middle of nowhere in the trunk of their car. And
That's a plus.
I mean, they got that, so you got to feel pretty good about that.
Todd's cool, and so now Beavis can't shake anymore. Says his arm hurts. And he's like, eventually they're just like, you know what? Let's just open it. This is going to make it all worthwhile.
It's so epic. He's like, this is gonna make it all worthwhile, and then they snap it, Steve. It's kind of like, in terms of like a money shot, this is just like a dribble. It just bubbles a little bit. Nothing. It doesn't shoot out. It doesn't explode. You know, just kind of a nice, tasty bev at this point. But that was enough for them. They both thought it was cool.
You were right. Of course I was, dumbass.
Every day was this cool.
Yeah. And now the lone video they're watching is Shaggy Bombastic. We live on Montic.
Mr. Fantastic. Yeah, Shaggy, Mr. Bombastic. Steve, what do you think? Is it
Uh
fantastic or?
yeah, that's all I need from Shaggy. The what was his biggest one? It wasn't me. I could have
Yeah.
done without that.
I mean, I gotta say, my favorite thing Shaggy ever did, he was in a Workaholics movie recently where he was just kind of like a joke in it. And I like seeing that because Shaggy in real time when we were experiencing it, and it was like a hit. It got real annoying real fast. Dude.
I think I watched that movie with you, man. Yeah, on Netflix, I think.
Yeah, Yeah, I think we did. I think we actually did watch that. That was the one where they were like hotel workers.
Mr. Romantic, Mr. Bombastic.
What language is he speaking?
If I were ever to score, I'd be like, yeah, this is fantastic, really bombastic. Yeah.
I mean, Beavis gets so enthralled in this video that he just starts humping the corner of the couch and saying "Mr. Fantastic" over and over again.
Mr. Fantastic. Yeah. Damn it, Beavis, chill out.
That's it, Steve. I mean, Shaggy has that effect on, I guess, everybody. I thought it was just the ladies, but I guess it's
Yeah.
teenage boys too. So watch
Yeah,
it.
yeah, not me, throw a porno in. But that same day, 1997, Airbud premieres in theaters. Directed by Charles Martin Smith, starring Michael Jeter, Kevin Zegers, Wendy McKenna, Eric Christmas, and Bill Cobbs, and Buddy.
Buddy, the real star. Um, I mean, it's a dog that can play basketball, Steve. What are we going to talk about here? It's a miracle.
It's what the world needed in 1997, Matt. Something so ridiculous to prepare us for the Montreal screw job in a couple of months.
It definitely softened the blow. That dog hitting threes and barking and making a kid smile. It made everything right for a couple of months. I think there's been subsequently maybe like 30 of these.
Yeah,
So they definitely have really wringed that towel out for all the moisture. But I thought it was exciting. I'm sure it was a bitch to film. I'd love to know more about that aspect of it. But Airbud, it's a free throw for you, buddy, in
yeah.
heaven.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is a Mandela effect or not, man, because I get various accounts of this being Comet from Full House. Some sources says it's not. Some sources says that it was like Comet, Airbud, and the dog from Fluke. I don't know who to believe, what to believe. What's the proper source? M-Dubs, Wikipedia, Google, Reddit.
Yeah, we need to like a 23 and me on like the corpse. Maybe do a DNA test because I need to be sure. I don't trust anybody anymore like that.
Yeah, we
I don't
need
know who
definite.
to believe.
Seriously, man. Yeah, I like to think that it was Comment from Full House and he was a professional. And, it's like, hey, I know the ropes. I used to play on the Golden State's court with Danny Tanner.
Chris Mullen taught me how to do this, how to shoot this on the run J shot. But like I said, I bet there was moments behind the scenes of this movie where somebody in the production's like, somebody fucking hit the dog. Like, it needs to hit the fucking. We've been here 12 hours, guys. This is insane.
Shoot the J, damn it. You
Yeah.
fucking mutt. But also in 1997, Spawn premieres. An elite mercenary is killed, but comes back from hell as a reluctant soldier of the devil. Directed by Mark A.Z. Dippe, starring John Leguizamo, Michael Jai White, Martin Sheen, Teresa Randall, Nicole Williamson, and D.B. Sweeney.
And it's got MJ Dub in it, so you know I'm a fan. Um, I feel like this movie doesn't get as much credit as it should because it was a comic book movie. I think they pulled it off great. And this was before, I mean, we'd obviously seen the Batmans and stuff, but this didn't even come from like Marvel or anything. This was, I think, I forget, maybe Image. I forget the name of the comic book company, but the guy who created Spawn, Todd McFarlane, created like this really kind of like adult comic book. HBO did an animated series, but I honestly, I know the special effects are dog shit. I know that's probably not the best, but they do some really good practical effects in this movie, specifically on John Leguizamo because he plays this like psycho clown that one is fat at one point, but then turns into this character called Violator that's like this white. It's just like a weird like lizard demon thing. I don't know how to explain it, but even that looked cool. Like the transformations look cool. Michael Jai White is a beast in it. We even get a Sheen in it for a little bit. We get Sheen in the beginning of it, and I don't know. I just don't feel like it gets talked about enough. I feel like it's a negative opinion I hear about this.
It doesn't, man. And I remember seeing this in the theater with my aunt and cousin, and I didn't know that this was like a standalone. I thought it had some kind of allegiance to either DC or Marvel, but this is a precursor, like you said, to all the other comic book movies, man. Even though we had already seen, like, the Supermans and Batmans.
And it was more adult. Like it was like it was bloody. I mean, he's a killer who goes to hell and then like makes a deal with there's a lot of like fucked up shit in it. He's
Yeah.
got a fucked up face. That's the only thing I don't like about this. We don't get to see Michael J. White handsome. He's got like a Deadpool face, like Freddy Krueger style. So I don't, that kind of stinks. But uh, I think we need to go back and watch because I probably, if I'm guessing correctly, what people are criticizing the most are the special effects. But it was '97. Like the shit wasn't gonna look great. Even the best were making some dog shit ass. Watch Phantom Menace. There's a couple of those. It looks like a Windows 95 paint graphic.
Yeah, and I mean, for its standards, I think it was cutting edge, man.
It got Michael J. White out there early in the '90s. Got his name out there as a leading man, and rightfully so. Did he propel off of this as much as I would have wanted, or he would have wanted? I'm assuming no, but they picked the right guy. It was perfect casting.
Yeah.
Leguizamo, this is probably to me. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's other shit out there, but this was like one of his first like more serious things. Even though he was kind of like jokey in it and weird, but he pulled it off. And the character they gave him to play is not an easy one to play. So I don't know. I'm into it. 2 thumbs up from Matt G for Spawn.
Same for Steve G. In 1999, Sex and the City is airing season 2, episode 9, Old Dogs, New Dicks. Carrie tries to fix some of Big's annoying habits. Charlotte begins seeing an uncircumcised man, and Samantha bumps into an old boyfriend. Hilarity
Mm.
ensues.
Yeah, Carrie. Carrie, don't wear a necklace with your name on it. You look like you look dumb. You look like a little teenage girl. This is very bizarre. But um, she's with Big Steve. We talked about this minute in a very small way, but now Big's in the picture. In fact, he's back in the picture because I think they actually said they took a break, got back together, and Big's got a wandering eye, Steve, and he's not even hiding it. I got to give a salute to the guy because he just is out. He's out with his lady, and he's just like, oh damn, like, oh yeah.
I
Fuck
mean,
yeah.
you're in New York, and Carrie, she starts off with the narration saying that they say New York are the most beautiful women in the world, and like, I don't know who they is, but I don't know. I digress.
I mean, I bet there is, but they don't show a lot of them. A lot of really skinny white ladies that they show, which I was like, this isn't the. There's no variance here. It's a bunch of vanilla ice cream. But there's a lot. I like the oogling that goes on. I like the stereotypical like construction workers and stuff. Just taking a look. I mean, everybody does it, but I'm just saying big. He's not even including her. Like, here's a little hack. Man, look at those big titties. Like me and my wife have that kind of relationship. She'll look at them and be like, "Oh, damn." I'm not sitting there going like having a conversation, being like, "Hold on 1 second." Oh shit. Like
She
it's
got a fat
almost that.
ass.
Yeah, it's almost that vibe. So, but he's big, dude, and he's living in New York, living the good life, smoking cigars in restaurants, even though they tell him not to. He pulls this whole shenanigans where he's like, you know what, give me a second, and he charms the 5 or 6 people in this restaurant into allowing him the privilege to smoke the cigar in the restaurant, and it just goes to show you, this is what Carrie wanted, this charming man about town, but she's not liking all the little side effects that come with that, you know?
But her homegirl Sam is there to talk some sense into her. It's like, look, that's just what men do. It's in their DNA. They're gonna look.
Yeah, you're lucky he's not acting on that. And
Yeah.
Samantha's she's the one you got to trust here. She's the vet. She's been there. She's been to a lot of sexual wars, Steve. She's seen it all, which we find out later. And Also parallel to this, we see Miranda, who is the homely one, the redhead. and she's shacked up with a guy, Steve, named Steve.
Yeah.
And it's not working out right. She's in a job that she has a day job. She's dating a bartender. So he wants to come over and smang at like 4 in the morning and then stay up and snuggle and stuff. And she's like, I can't have this. This is affecting my REM cycle. So, and I gotta say, I mean, he's throwing it at her and she's denying it. I mean, the guy, you're a bartender, bro. What's going on here?
Yeah. And he looks like Fievel. I don't know why. Just that's the first thing I want to call him Fievel. And
It's like Wyatt from Weird Science with glasses, you know?
or yeah, along those lines, man. And everything else is cool with Steve. They vibe. She's loving her new home, the new relationship and everything. It's just the schedule. They're opposite of each other.
Sh-
And
She's exhausted, Steve. She's a lawyer. Isn't she a lawyer?
yeah.
So she's got stuff to do. She's got groceries to get. She's got Pilates to do. But this guy just wants to cuddle. Oh, Jesus, Miranda. I'm sorry. He's a gentle lover. I'm sorry. This guy is sensitive and is also a bartender with a night job. God damn. But she's just not sure, Steve. She forgoes a lot of stuff and then gets to go out with her friends that Saturday night to their local bar for a little drag queen bingo and a little chit chat.
And while that's going on, Charlotte, she's got a new dude, and she finds out that Buddy is he's still got his slobbery sleeve.
Yeah, he's got an anteater. And I mean, they show the moment where she finds out about it. And I mean, can you like put the guy's feelings into some sort of put it into your vision a little bit because notices that he's got a little extra skin up there and isn't just like, oh, that's interesting. She's like, ew, what is this? Ugh. I mean, that's basically what happens. He's like, and you know what made me even sadder, Steve? This guy, this poor guy, whatever his Dave, I think maybe his name was, I forget, Anteater
Something.
Dick. Um, he he's like, you know what? I get it a lot. And how sad. This guy's waiting for people to see his uncut dick and I guess get horrified because that's the general porn stars don't seem to matter that much. They don't mind it, but Charlotte, she's like, I need a cut dick, please.
Yeah, get him out of here with your baloney basket. And like
Ugh. I
it's
mean,
very
say I was given a I'm cut, so that's all I know. I don't know what it would be like to see something else. I've never seen anything else. But to Charlotte, this is all I'll say. Even if it's not to your tastes, take the guy's feelings into account just a smidge. Because I feel like this guy's on the verge. You live in a high rise. This guy might jump out the fucking window. I mean, one gag. She was close to gagging, Steven, not in the right way. She's like, oh God.
well,
What is that? What is
yeah.
that? Is that smegma? Is that what that is?
Oh, your pecker pocket, put it away. And now Carrie and Mr. Big, they're having a date, and she has like some issues with him smoking his cigar because he's always smoking a cigar. And actually, it's the waitress. She takes issue to it because she's concerned about the other patrons at the restaurant, and he's like, "What? All four of these people here?"
Yeah,
Like,
this is what I was saying. He charms them and like gets over this issue with the waitress. But you see, dude, Carrie's all in her fucking head about this. So she starts creating little embers of tension because she is pissed off about him looking at other women, even though she's not willing to come out and just be like, hey man, have some class. Like you don't need to. I'm here, so you just don't need to do that. Uh, but I gotta say, dude, big. This is fucking big baller fucking energy. I love this. I want to
and
hang out with him.
and she even says like, "You're arrogant, but isn't that what you loved about me in the first place?"
That's what I'm saying, though. This is what success in New York, I guess, is like. Just a guy like this. It's like, yeah, I'm ignorant. So let me fucking finish this fucking bat real quick. But and they leave, and he's checking out ass on the walk, Steve.
Yeah, they walk by a prostitute and he like, turns his neck and she's just like, "Look, I don't like
The
when you smoke that
cigar.
cigar." Okay, well, at least you're telling me to my face. But
And the
that wasn't even
motherfucker throws that thing out, and knowing his rich ass, that was probably like a hundo that he just threw on the New York City streets, Steve.
Yeah, he can buy several more.
You could have rolled a blunt with the rest of that.
And I mean, that wasn't even the real issue. Her issue was him like gawking at chicks that they walk by.
You got to figure out how to use the perif. I mean, these are tricks. You don't have to be out in the open, big. This woman's a journalist. Like, you don't want to get into a situation where she's like Taylor Swifting your lack of class all about town. This woman has a blog or whatever the fuck it is. So, but he throws the cigar out. Water under the bridge, right? No, it's boiling. Carrie's boiling, Steve. Um, this whole Miranda thing, this keeps happening. I think she actually stays up. Are we there now where she's like
Uh,
up?
well, we cut to Charlotte right quick. She's leaving her date with Dave, and as she's going up, she stops him because he thinks they're about to go upstairs and get it in, and she stops his Saint Bernard ass. Like, look, no, maybe tonight is not the night. I'll see you another day. It's like, oh, it's because I'm uncircumcised, isn't it? Huh? It's because I got my little.
He knew.
Yeah,
It's
he knew.
happened that many times. He's like, I've been here before. It's because of the dick, right? It's because of the gross dick. I know, I get it all the time. But Steve, this is where this takes what I call an insane turn because there's guys out here all over the world with uncut dicks, Steve.
Apparently,
Probably, I think it's better for you, I've heard, than having a cut dick in some way. Whatever that is, I don't know. But they're everywhere. It's not even that weird. It's like maybe having a fucking whatever. I don't know what the percentage is. This guy says to Charlotte, you know what? I'm going to get my dick cut for you. He didn't say for you, but he just basically this has initiated a grown ass man who's lived with his dick for however many years. He's jacked that fucking anteater off a bunch. No problem. It works. This guy's like, you know what? This is the last time this is what happened to me for being fat. Where I was like, I'm sick of being fucking relegated to the sidelines because of this issue. In his case, it's having an uncut dick. And he says, you know what? Fuck it. Snip this bitch off. This guy's getting a circumcision at like goddamn 30 some years old, Steve. That's lunacy.
I mean,
How
yeah,
much do you want pussy off of this one chick? You're in New York. There's chicks that love an uncut dick, I'm sure, out there somewhere in the NYC, Steve. You just gotta
it's
look.
it's hard looking sometimes, man. So for now, the jacket's got to come off the joystick, and like,
Why, dude? I
but
mean, yeah, right. It does, Steve. But where do you go? Who do you approach to get an adult? Is it a plastic surgeon? A moil? Do you go to like a Jewish guy and like, you know what? You got that guillotine you got up for the kids? You
you
want to
just
fucking do me up real quick? Line me up?
you just go to a surgeon, and he tells her like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get this done, and do you mind waiting? Are you gonna be patient? It's like, sure, I don't mind waiting.
I will give Charlotte this much credit. He tells her he's doing this, and she doesn't get weirded out or just feel
Yeah.
sad for him. She's like, "That's one of the sweetest things." I mean, it is Charlotte. To be honest with you, as a man, this is the sweetest thing a man's gonna do for you, if it truly is. So, dude's getting his fucking dick snipped, Steve. And it's going to take like what he says is a week to be able in fuck condition, but I don't know. An adult circumcision, I feel like the timetable's got to be. Give me 2-3 weeks. I don't want to
Uh,
dip this thing in battery acid. Like you got to fucking let this bitch heal up a little bit. But he says a week, so
yeah.
you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah, man, you gotta look.
Literally.
Gotta let that thing breathe, man. Your spunk trunk. And I came across these other metaphors: pickle pouch, uh, ding dong come along, 9-inch niche, chode chamber, boner band collar crank, foot bucker fillet, birdie bracelet, banana slackery, hand job harness, bait and ball blast, beanpole baldric, nether tether, hot dog hanger on, cockadoodle diadem, meat rod rollover, grab on girth girdle, long dong sarong, slip schlong saddlery.
I like long dong sarong. That one rolls off the tongue. Pause. But the only thing I've ever heard useful about having an uncut dick came from a comedian story. One Joey D has, who admitted on a podcast, among other things, that he used it to actually sneak drugs onto planes whenever, it wasn't like 9/11 stuff. Those are like in the 80s and shit. But he would just like put a little baggie in his fucking in the skin and just go about his business. Good to go, Steve. Apparently, I guess if you got enough, you can be a fucking mule. If you got a mule, you can be a mule, Steve.
Yeah, man,
But
rumple
that's weird.
foreskin.
But this he's literally going to mutilate his own penis to get some more strange. So in a way, I gotta respect it because he's willing to make the ultimate sacrifice.
Oh, salute to Dave. That's his name. And but Miranda, she's waiting on her usual wake up call, and Steve, he gets up right along with her, and he's ready to get it in. He's up and he's up, and they get it in, get to the action, and now he wants to cuddle.
Steve. Everybody, I mean, but I guess in some way, this is like the bachelor's dream because she's like, how long are we gonna cuddle? Like, she's not about the bullshit. So I
Hmm.
don't know. Steve's not into it. They go on this whole back and forth. She's honest with him about like the whole time thing because when he comes over, she's falling asleep or asleep. She wakes up to fuck and then she has to get up and work. While about he has to just sleep and go to his night job or vice versa. So they get to a point where she stays up all night. That's where we're at now in the episode. And she's ready to go. She's like, you know what? It's 2 a.m. I did like 5 coffees. I'm fucking amped. Steve comes over, bright eyed and bushy tailed. He's ready to fuck. And she's like, you know what? Because she's like doing this whole seduction thing. She's got an outfit on. She's probably got rose petals someplace. And, she sends Steve up to the bedroom. She's like, I'll get the bottle of wine. Why don't you get warmed up? She gets up there. Steve's asleep. And then she completely flies off the handles. Like, you know what? Go. You need to just go sleep in your own bed. And I mean, the guy just got off work, lady. I get there's an issue, and the cork has to come off. But God, I mean, this guy is tired. I mean, what the fuck are we talking about, Steve?
And yeah, before all of that, they have drag queen bingo, and Miranda, she's expressing her concerns, just like Charlotte. She has concerns about her Sharpay Bay and some cat was it not Samantha, but Carrie. Jesus,
Yeah.
Carrie. She has her issues with Mr. Big, and while all they're spewing all of their shit, one of Samantha's old boyfriends comes along, and he's in drag, and he even chose the name Samantha as a stage name.
Hey, girl, looking good, queen. Yeah, and she's not taking because he's like, this all happened right after I got done seeing you. You inspired me, and Samantha's a fucking fuck machine. She doesn't want to be somebody's bottom that they came out of like the whatever. So she doesn't. There's nothing said. She just doesn't. You can tell it bothers her, Steve. She just wants to try to fuck him again, maybe to like, you know, I guess like reclaim her energy. I don't know. She just is really sad. I feel like, which I don't like, because Samantha, she's my favorite, dude.
Well, imitation is the most sincerest form of flattery.
Here, I mean, drag queen being, it looked like a cutthroat bunch of drag queens. They're all very, I mean, they're drag queens. They're all very catty. It's
Yeah.
like there's more bingo cards to hang out. Fucking Samantha, bitch, and she's like, chill out, you fucking little fucking sissy.
These are huge drag queens, by the way. Were one of them linemen for the Giants or the Jets or some shit?
The one rolling the balls and that thing, she could definitely. Her and Big Van Vader would be a formidable tag team for
Yeah.
goddamn sure. Um, but I do like that everyone's like Samantha of all people is like I've had 8 uncut dicks, so like it's so memorable. She has like the number in her head, you know. So just goes to show you. But she's like, it's fine. It's all
I don't
about
know.
just getting in. It's the motion. Get it, figure it out.
It's not how it looks, it's what it can do. And I don't know where they get these numbers from. They said 85% of the men in this world don't have their shit cut. I don't
Well,
know
that's
about.
foreign countries, and I'm sure
Oh,
there's other religions and stuff that don't allow it. But it was the norm. I don't know why it's done. I don't really give a fuck. It just is how it is for me. But as if I like, I just feel like as an adult man, like I guess it's in the '90s. Like you can't read the internet and figure out it's not that weird of a thing. But like, it seems like a real extreme thing to do. You know, that's unless there's a problem with my dick, I don't want anybody to be touching it in a medical way at all. I want it to be a sexual thing, but no one's cutting skin off for me to get laid.
there's sanitary concerns. That's a big thing.
And you're going around New York, you're gonna get your dick fucking circumcised, and then you're just gonna go out and slang dick around town. That's just a recipe for something bad happening, sir Dave.
And now with Carrie and Mr. Big, she has this whole issue with him never giving her a key. And there's some
Or
things.
staying at her place.
Yeah.
He's just not. It's not a thing. They don't. She's like, I don't feel like we're a couple. I just come over here and fucking wait for you. You know. But it's Mr. Big.
And he likes his bed.
My shit's nicer. That would be what my argument is. I'd be like, you live in a fucking shithole. I got a doorman. Enough said.
And halfway through the night while they're asleep, Big rolls her out of bed. And Carrie, she's pissed off now. So, like, as Big wakes up, she punches him in the face, like, right jab.
Pops him right in the goddamn fucking nose. And
Yeah.
then has the audacity to still be angry. She's acknowledging that what she did was fucked up, and she's like, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to sleep on my nice ass couch because it's still better than your bullshit. But you can sleep in bed here. I'm going to be the bigger man.
Right.
I'm being big.
I see. Wink, wink. And she finally comes clean. She says, I hate the way that you look at other women. I hate that I don't have a key. I hate that you never come over. She goes real Kendrick Lamar. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. I hate the way that you sneak this. If I catch a flight, it's going to be direct.
He's like, look, physical violence is never the answer. He says something like shitty, and then she's like, fuck it, I'm done. And she leaves, Steve.
He's smart though, because before she leaves, she's like, okay, tell me some things that you don't like about me. I'm not falling for that.
Yeah, you
'Cause
just punched
he
me in the
knows.
goddamn face, bitch.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
trying to
always
get
a
a
setup.
2-piece. I'm good.
Men never fall for that trap because that's all it is. It's not a come clean. This is your free pass moment. When they ask you that, like, no, you're an angel. You're perfect. Don't change shit.
Yeah, you gotta be a real dumbass to fucking fall for that. But this is big. This guy's a deal maker. He's not gonna fall for that, and he sends her on her way. And that leaves Carrie sort of in a lurch here because she's just now struck the man that she's in love with. And I think they go a few days without communication, Steve.
And back to Dave and Charlotte, they're making out, and he's like, I got the procedure done. Oh, it's good to go, but I need about a week or so. And as they're making out or about to make out, it gets hard. And he's like, oh,
Again, dude, this is, I mean, fuck. So he's like, you know what? You need to go because I just can't control this thing. So let me go put this in some ice. I'll see you in a week.
yeah, put it on ice, literally. And back to Miranda and Steve. Then that's when she's trying to serenade him, and she invites him over, and
Step into my fiery crotch.
she's got wine prepared, and she's got the rose petals, the whole nine. And once Steve makes it to the bedroom, he's passed out.
and they get in a fight, Steve. And it ends with Steve leaving. I don't remember exactly what she said. I mean, I think she brought up the points I've been bringing up this whole discussion. So Steve
Yeah.
takes it badly. He's like, you know what? I'm a bartender. I don't need to be dealing with some other people's fucking crazy mental bullshit. I'm out of here. Bye. And then she goes and has like a little fit on the bed and starts being like, I miss Steve.
I
Why did I
really like
drive him away? He just fucked the shit out of me and wanted to cuddle all the time.
I really like women. But now Charlotte, she finally gets her chance to check out this new merchandise. And she says it's perfect. It's kind
I
of like
mean, dude, as a guy, if a chick says that, that's just gotta feel great, Steve. I've had some great compliments given to me by women, either before or after the act, and it feels awesome. But to have somebody go, "It's perfect," I mean, where do you go from here?
you're Dirk Diggler now.
You're gonna. I mean, that's got to be a boost for that. So, and it was Steve because she says it's perfect. Then we cut, and they're having a fucking smoke, and she's about to fucking. She's making plans for the wedding. She's like, let's hang out this Saturday. He's like, wait, do we have plans? And she's like, no, but I just thought maybe we could do this or that. And he's like, hey.
I don't want this to be a big thing. What a big thing?
I
Yeah,
want my big thing to not be your thing because basically I need to take this little pony out for a ride, baby. Test
yeah.
drive it because this is all new to me. This uncut dick life that I'm living now. It's fucking. I want to see what the world has to offer a man of my perfect dickness, as you called it.
I just unlocked a new character and I want to show it to all the players. This is the last time they see each other, by the way. So bye bye, Dave. And now Big, he shows up at Carrie's and he has a shiner.
Yeah, I mean, he got fucked up, Steve. And Carrie can clearly throw a nice right cross or a sucker punch. I don't think he was expecting it, but she's like, sorry. And I gotta say, Carrie, what's her name? Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah.
I'm not very attracted to her. She's a beautiful woman, but I gotta say, when he shows up and she's in this little like whatever the get up she's got on, it's like a little athletic joint and whatnot.
She's wearing like an Elmo shirt, I think, or something, like some kind of Sesame Street
But
character.
it's like a jersey type, and she's got some like little shorts on. She looks hot, and she's got a nice tummy too. But they start getting into it, and Carrie apologizes. Big's like, whatever, I'm coming in here for a minute, and they get in an argument, and then they sort of have like this fun little like. I mean, it's kind of an argument, but he's like, "Oh, this is a negotiation, right?" And he's like, "I guess I'll have to stay the night." So she gets what she wants. He gets to act like a baller, and she can ice up his eye and ice out on his dick after she rides it all night because that's what's gonna happen, Steve.
And now her sheets smell like cigars. Um, so back to Steve and Miranda, he calls her from a payphone and he says, "Do me a favor and go to the window. Now look up." And it's a blue moon.
It'd be funnier if it was just him on the ledge with his dick out. Now look up. Oh my god. Yeah, but he's sweet. And he's like, I just wanted you to see it because I think it's beautiful, just like you. And she's like, oh my god. And he's like, you know what? This is it. This is Steve calling you. I don't know. That's Steve is okay. This is Steve. And he's like, just saying. And she's like, you know what, Steve? Why don't you come over after your shift? Wake me up with that dick.
And they did it at night. They did it in the morning. They did it all day. And Miranda was late for like an hour and she didn't care because she was getting dickmatized.
She was doing some pro bono work. Pro boner work, Steve.
Pro boner. Yeah.
Yeah, but like Miranda, I don't know. Also, Sarah Jessica Parker showing off some nips in this episode, Steve. I don't know if you caught that, but that one nightie she had on, Sarah Jess was showing off some pepperones. So shout out.
Little pepperoni nipple. And, any callbacks, honorable mentions, or cake or sores?
I just have to say, I'm not going to spoil it, but if you like the Fox, like the 90s comic book movies that came out, that we kind of grew up on, that walk so all these movies can run now. Go see Deadpool because is it a 10 out of 10 movie? No. But does it scratch the cameo itch that everybody always wants with these comic book movies? Absolutely. So, and there's one I spoiled it for Steve, but I love seeing that guy back in a Marvel movie. It was so good, and I mean, I don't remember him playing Blade as like. It almost seemed like over the top. I ruined it. I just bleep that, Steve. But the man did a great job, and that movie's really fun, especially if you grew up with those '90s properties. So go see it. Deadpool, Wolverine. Sorry, I
What
spoiled some
what
of it.
what stopped it from being 10 out of 10?
There's really, I mean, there's no real stakes to it at the end of the day. Like if you just like pay attention to the story, and there's really just not a lot of. It's not like a big. There's, I mean, the story's just kind of there to get you from cameo to cameo almost. But the action's fantastic. The jokes are fantastic. The special effects are great. Everything's really good about it, but there's just really like the story's kind of flimsy, you know.
Okay.
But still, you get Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds was made to play him. He plays him great. And the cameos that you get, and even the villain in it, it's one of the better comic book movies that's come out in a long time. And it's just like fun. It really is a buddy like comedy movie that they've just jammed all this Marvel shit into. I know Ryan Reynolds mentioned Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It's like a lot of John Candy movies from the 80s were like sort of a reference and an inspiration for this, which I thought was really cool.
Right on, man. And all I got is well, I have a couple of things. I didn't mention this last week, but R.I.P. to Bob Newhart, another legend, a comedy OG, fellow Midwesterner too, man. Born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. I always loved his show, the Bob Newhart show on Nick at Night, and then the remake. It wasn't even like related; they're two completely different shows. But the Newhart that came out in the '80s, I'd always watch those, both of them with my grandma. Man, you won't be forgotten ever, man. I think he almost made it to 100. Man, he was 90 plus, but
He to me was like a genius, like George Burns was. Like I don't think we were old enough to appreciate him as much as we should have, but
right.
we saw him, and he was. I love Newhart, dude. I used to watch that with my family all the time too. My grandma loved that show.
And also, man, if I can say this shit, the bullshit on air, I can own up to it on air. I want to apologize to my friend, man, for some bullshit I said earlier. I didn't think that it would go left the way it did, but I'm still. I need to work on me because I'm not the best version of Stephen Garrett at this moment. But there's that, and I never want to say things to make my friends feel bad. But also, and this is important, I try not to go political on this show, but this isn't even political, and I think my buddy can co-sign on this. Please stop killing unarmed Black people. Please,
Yeah,
that's not asking for a lot. It is a pretty easy request, man. Please, man. But also, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Please tell your sister, watch these rap ninjas get all up in your guts. French vanilla butter, pecan chocolate deluxe. Even caramel sundaes is getting touched. Scooping in my ice cream truck. Who tears it up? Please check out Food Show Fanatics with Matt and Kendra. Crushgasm every Wednesday with Kendra, as well as podcast with our guy Clark the Shark. This is Steve G and Matt G with
Happened in the 90s.
Matt was the fat kid, Steve was the black kid. Life wasn't always great, but you know what was? The 90s.